The Texas Tech Red Raiders were my preseason national champion pick, and before the Duke game, they weren't playing their best basketball. They've been pretty banged up with injuries, and they've been somewhat inconsistent, not playing their best brand of basketball. They started off the season losing to Illinois in Urbana, and that's not a bad loss. Then they barely survived against Wake Forest, and after that game, they got absolutely demolished by Purdue. Then they had a close scare at home against Wyoming where they couldn't hit a shot to save their lives. Then after blowing out LSU, they lost to Arkansas where it seemed like they ran out of gas. They couldn't hang with the physicality and pace of the Razorbacks for 40 straight minutes. Then they had a weird game against Northern Colorado where even though they won by double digits, they allowed 90 points on their home court, which brought them to an 8-3 record before they played Duke at Madison Square Garden. Duke entered the game as heavy favorites, and they backed it up in the first half, leading 46 to 36. Then they ballooned that lead to 17 early in the second half. But this is where the game got weird. Duke's size and physicality were wearing down on Texas Tech. Both Lawan Watts and Leon Horner had 4 fouls early in the second half. Coach McCaslin tried to play around with their minutes, hiding them with substitutions to avoid them fouling out. But at the 11:41 mark, Leon Horner picked up that fifth foul and fouled out. The very next play, Lawan Watts picked up his fifth personal and he was out of the game for good. I also failed to mention that Tyree Brandon got benched right away as the game started. So Texas Tech had to close this game with no Lawan Watts, no Leon Horner, no Luke Bamboye as he was out with an injury, and no Tyree Brandon. But that was no problem because Nolan Groves came into this game and completely changed the energy and the entire dynamic of the contest. The first possession, we have 6'5" Nolan Groves guarding 7' Pat Gungba, but he gets so low that he does a terrific job not allowing Gungba to get the ball. Then he does a great job boxing out and Tech gets a stop. The next possession, he's matched up with 6'9", 250 National Player of the Year favorite Cam Boozer. And he does a great job staying attached through this brush screen so Boozer can't get post-up position. He denies the first pass. Then when Duke runs high-low, he's again so physical that the only passing angle is away from the hoop. On the post-up, he's so low that it's hard for Cam Boozer to back him down, especially with the digs from Christian Anderson, and Duke misses another shot. He's again matched up with Gungba, and with Boozer isolating on this side of the court, Groves is the low man. So you would assume if Boozer beats JT Toppin going baseline, Groves won't be able to contest it. Boozer gets deep in the paint, but Groves shows early enough and with high and active hands, that deters Boozer from looking anywhere baseline, and Christian Anderson times a great double team, forcing a jump ball, giving the Red Raiders the ball back. On the offensive end, Tech runs a two-man game with Christian Anderson and JT Toppin, and Toppin gets an and one. Toppin ends up missing the free throw, but look at the push that Groves got on Gungba when the ball's in the air. That leads to a loose ball, and Groves isn't done yet. He fights all the way to the other side of the court and rips the ball from Caleb Foster, saving the possession. And I wish he would have hit this shot because the Garden would have been on absolute fire. But Tech gets another offensive rebound, and this time it's Petty who misses a shot, but Christian Anderson's swing move allows for him to get the putback, and now we have a 2-point game. On offense, Groves was primarily used as a screener, but check out this little detail. After that first screen, Christian Anderson and JT Toppin are running a middle ball screen. With CA coming downhill, everyone in the arena knows he wants to get to this spot. The only problem with that is Cam Boozer's right in the way. So when Groves does this little exchange, that flattens out Cam Boozer, and now this space is available for Anderson to get the bucket. And this play with 6 minutes left in the second half completely changed the game. Cam Boozer throws a lazy pass to Christian Anderson, and Anderson gives it right back. Now freeze this. This is a 1-on-0 fast break with Malik Brown, but Nolan Groves hustles, gets back, gets in front of Malik Brown, contesting without fouling. Immediately after that stop, Tech has numbers, and they capitalize with a 3, and that's a 5-point swing for the Red Raiders. Here's another interesting play. Duke likes to switch everything on the ball and off the ball. So they switch this first screen, then when JT Toppin comes down, Cam Boozer tells Isaiah Evans to scram and take Nolan Groves. Evans is the matchup that Texas Tech wants to attack, but mainly they just want to get Malik Brown the heck out of there. So after they get the switch with Isaiah Evans, now JT Toppin comes and sets a screen, and this is what Tech wants to attack. but Anderson gets locked up and he throws up a prayer. But because Malik Brown is out of the paint, JT Toppin has position on Isaiah Evans, and he's able to corral the rebound and get a huge putback to give Tech even more momentum. Duke calls a timeout, and this play right here is the best play of Groves' young college career. The play is a designated post-up for Cam Boozer, but look at this effort from Nolan Groves. He's fronting Boozer, not allowing that pass to get made, pushing him around on the interior. Duke has to settle for a long three, and this is my favorite part of the possession. When Boozer crashes for the rebound, Groves goes to find him and pushes him, knocking him on his heels, sending a message to the National Player of the Year. Suddenly, that 17-point lead is now only at 2, and Duke needs another bucket. Their offense isn't going anywhere, but late shot clock, it's give Cam Boozer the ball and let him create something. Groves does a terrific job playing one-on-one defense, and this is a great dig on the wing, forcing Boozer to give the ball up. Then they play great defense around the screen, and this is overall terrific team defense from Texas Tech, forcing a shot clock violation. JT Toppin was unconscious on the offensive end, and Texas Tech has a 1-point lead, so let's see what Duke draws up. It's the play that they run most for Isaiah Evans. It starts with him coming off of a flare. If that's not open, it immediately turns into a pin down. But look who we have as the low man, Nolan Groves. And him stepping up so early may have caused Isaiah Evans to lose this ball, and Christian Anderson gets a tough and one, and Tech is now up 4. Stage is set. Tie game, 10 seconds left. And this could have been such a cool moment, but this is definitely a foul by Caleb Foster. He was leaning on Christian Anderson the entire possession, and CA knew how to sell it. I can't be mad at the refs for making this call. In the 13 minutes that Nolan Groves was in, he put up 0 points on 0 for 2 shooting with only 1 rebound and 3 fouls, but he had a plus 13 plus minus because of everything he was doing on the court. His energy on the defensive end sparked new life into this team, and I have to give credit to Christian Anderson, who played out of his absolute mind on the offensive end, hitting shot after tough shot whenever Texas Tech needed a bucket. This win against Duke, a 17-point second half comeback without half of the roster in the Garden, wasn't just a normal win. I think this was a program win, a cultural win, and a win that will give Texas Tech the momentum that they need to be playing their best basketball when it matters most. The concern for this team was their depth. Outside of Christian Anderson and JT Toppin, the rest of the roster has been inconsistent. But if that changes, which I think it will, this is a scary team that can contend for the Big 12 and can win a national championship. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. You might as well subscribe. But even if you don't, I appreciate you still watching. I love all of y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.